if you, in the book we have a chapter about like finances, and ISIS has, has a very interesting system that is different from Al-Qaeda, that can sustain itself without foreign donations and without help from outsiders. They can survive on local money. So they have, they provide services, but unlike Islamists who provide services as a way of social bribe, they run the services and they charge people for it. They act as a state. So, for example, when Syria, or much of Syria, was controlled by the Free Syrian Army for months, what the Free Syrian Army used to do is, if it was like really good, they would try to convince the population to either go to, like individuals to go to work, or to share oil if they are a powerful family and they control oil well. They, Free Syrian Army, or even Jabhat al-Nusra, or Ahrar al-Sham, and like Islamists in general, they wouldn't try to impose themselves in the communities, local communities. They will try to, it's based on consent. Now, when ISIS came, it was a completely different story. ISIS imposed its own, rules. It acted as a state. So, for example, if someone gets money from the Syrian government because he used to work as a municipality staff, like a municipality worker, ISIS forced that person to go to work, to show up to work like 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. If you want your salary, you have to work. If someone owns a bakery, for example, and ISIS comes and asks the person, why you closed your bakery? You say, I don't have money. They say, okay, we'll provide you with the flour, any materials you need, but you operate the bakery. And if you don't operate the bakery, we take it. We confiscate it from you. And what happens usually is the person says, okay, give me the flour, give you share from the revenue, and we operate the bakery. They would have an ISIS member outside the bakery making sure the line is straight, like there's no one jumping the line, and so on. So they kind of, it's a part of their propaganda to act as a state. They want to regulate it. The police, traffic police, for example, in the past, the Syrian traffic police would receive a bribe from any driver, and there's always chaos. There's no actually traffic rules. With ISIS, everyone has to respect the road and the road rules. If someone works in transportation, when the Free Syrian Army used to control, the areas. So if someone is traveling from Aleppo to eastern Syria, or maybe to the borders of Iraq, they would be stopped several times by the Free Syrian Army or any like gangs on the way, and they would ask them for a bribe. When ISIS came, it would act again as a state. So they would stop. There's a checkpoint in Aleppo, in eastern Aleppo, and they would document basically what the person is carrying. So like stationery, whatever. They write it down and they they stamp it, and then the driver can drive from Aleppo to Mosul, right? And no one would stop him. And if they stop him, you can just give the document, and that's it. So a lot of people start to like this, this kind of a new government body in their areas. At least